Morning, guys. Welcome back to season two of the Courtside podcast. I'm your host, Keelan. In this week's episode, we dive into all the games from week two of the NBA season, discuss the Bucks 1-5 record, and also we discuss about how good are the Cleveland Cavaliers? Are they a title contender? More on that. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn that post notification bell, like this video, and comment down below what are your thoughts about week two. Without further ado, let's get to the video. All right, kicking off week two, we got the Bucks and the Celtics. As you can see here, it was a pretty competitive game, between these two bitter rivals, I like to call them. Peeking at the box score of this game, we got the Bucks losing to the Celtics by a score of, I know I saw it, but hurry up, please. Um, the Bucks and the Celtics. Oh yeah, there we go. Peeking at the Bucks side of things, I mean, Giannis and Dame both combined for 63 points. Giannis with 30, Dame with 33. Brook Lopez had 13 points. Gary Trent Jr. had 10 points, and their bench just wasn't that productive, you know. Peeking at the Celtics, I mean, Jaylen Brown led the way with 30 points despite missing all of his three-pointers. Jason Tatum was held into check with 15 points. Drew Holiday had 21 points. Derek White had 13 points. Al Horford had 10 points, but the main star of the show was Peyton Pritchard going off for 28 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 8 of 12 from three. That is nuts. All right, peeking at the next primetime game, we had a good one. We had the Lakers and the Suns. I actually watched this game, believe it or not, this game live. This game was a lot closer than people think it was. This game was like knit and grind. Um, Peeking at the Lakers side of things, because we always look at the losing teams first, but peeking at the Lakers, Anthony Davis led the way with 29 points. 29 points. Austin Reeves had 23 points. Rui Hachimura had 20 points. D'Angelo Russell, despite him struggling, had 14 points. And then LeBron only was held to 11 points, which is kind of mind-blowing if you think about it. Peeking at the Suns side of things, I mean, KD, what can you say about him? He led the way with 30 points. I mean, that was the second leading scorer. Devin Booker had 33 points. Bradley Beal had 15 points. And Royce O'Neal was their spark, I would say, the spark off the bench. He led the way with 12 points. All right. My screen can load right now. There we go. I'm going to peek to the Tuesday game side of things. Hope it loads. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. So we kicking off, we got the Mavs and the Timberwolves. I mean, this game was really competitive. Like, I think it was like a back and forth kind of game. Like I think Minnesota came out blazing hot to start the game, and then like Dallas found ways to get back into the game, and then Luka Doncic hit a dagger. That's what I saw on social media. All right. Peeking at the Mavs side of things, I mean, everyone in their starting line minus play, of course, was in double figures. PJ Washington had 17 points on 7 of 13 from the field. Daniel Gafford had 14 points. Kyrie had 35 points. And Luka had 24 points in one of his worst games so far. Peeking at the bench, I mean, the bench was non-existent for the Mavs. It was just all the starters. But Quinn Grimes was their spark. He had 9 points off the bench, despite having a -1 net positive rating. Peeking at the Timberwolves side of things, I mean, Julius Randle had 20 points, 20 points. Jaden McDaniels had 13 points. And then Anthony Edwards had like 37 points, which was nuts. And then, of course, we had Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander Walker leading the all bench scores with 14 points and 11 rebounds. Pretty impressive, don't you think? Peeking at the next game, we had who do we have? Oh yeah, we had Pelicans Warriors. We had Pelicans Warriors game two. I mean, this game felt really weird to me just because like I picked the Pelicans to win because the Warriors don't have Steph, and when the Warriors don't have Steph, you guys know, it's not the same. I would admit without him, but yeah. But then again, the Warriors were resistant. Zion led the way with 31 points. Brandon Ingram had 30 points, and their like other stars just were non-existent. Peeking at the Warriors side of things, I mean, Buddy Hield, man, what a great acquisition, right? For this team, had 28 points. Moses Moody had 17 points. Brandon Vizinski had 19 points. Jonathan Kuminga had 17 points, and Leon Waters had 21 points. Pretty dang impressive for the Warriors. In fact, this Warriors team has been resilient. Oh my God. Okay. Peeking at the next set of games on Halloween Eve, we have probably the craziest game of week two, in my personal opinion. We had where is it? Um, the Celtics and the Pacers. I mean, this game was absolutely mind-blowing to say the least. Like you had I saw the box, I saw like because I got score updates. That the Pacers like went up by like 20 points in the fourth quarter, and then the Celtics like just stormed back, which is unbelievable, you know, to say the very least. But anyway, peeking at the Celtics side of things, I mean, Jason Tatum had 37 points. Jalen Brown had 25 points. Derek White had 23 points. And their bench was, oh yeah, Peyton Pritchard had 16 points. But other than that, their bench was non-existent. Peeking at the Pacers side of things, Pascal Siakam had 29 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 17 points as well. Aaron Nesmith had 12 points. Isaiah Jackson had 10 points. But the real star of the show was Bennett Mathurin. Man, this kid's an absolute sensation. This guy had 30 points, which is like nuts. Peeking at the next game, we have the next set of games. Well, I don't know why. I'm sorry if my laptop is loading like it's just I have like a lot of things on and I'm in a different location. But anyway, peeking at the next game, we got the Spurs and the Thunder. Game number one between Chet and Wemby. Like, and Thunder just came out with aggressiveness, man. Um, Hoping my laptop. There we go. Sorry if it's lagging for you guys. It's just like I have a lot of things like on my plate and stuff like that. So I apologize for the lag. But anyway, peeking at the I mean the Spurs, like I mean they couldn't do anything. Like Wemby was held to only 6 points, which is nuts. Harrison Barnes had 18 points. Jeremy Sohan at 17. Chris Paul had 14 points. Malachi Brandon came off the bench and gave them a solid 15, but it just wasn't enough, man. Uh, Peeking at the Thunder side of things, I mean, SGA had 18 points. Jalen Williams had 12 points. Chet had 19 points. He also played really well against Wemby. Kind of mind blowing. But Lou Dort was the star of the show. He had 20 points, and then Avion Mitch, I don't know what his name is, had 12 points. The bench. All right, peek it out on Halloween. Halloween, Halloween. We have the next game, which was on Halloween night. We had two games. We had the Bucks and the Grizzlies. If it would load up, please. Again, I'm sorry for like the lag. It's just I'm in Seattle right now, and like the internet here is not that very good. So I apologize for that. But anyway, we now have internet. We got the Bucks and the Grizzlies, and I think it's time to blow it up, to be honest with you, for the Milwaukee Bucks with his Giannis and Dame pairing. But yeah, this is not good at all. Peeking at the Bucks, let's look at the Bucks or the Bucks. I didn't get a chance to look at it to be quite honest with you, but let's see. Yeah, Giannis had 37 points to lead all the way. He 37 points with 11 rebounds. Brook Lopez had 12 points. I mean, Dame had only 4 points, which blew my mind. And Bobby Portis was the only spark off the bench. He had 11. Peeking at the Grizzlies side of things, I mean, everyone and their starters were in double figures. Ja had 26. Santi Aldama had 19. Joe Wells had 16. Jaren Jackson Jr. had 13 points. Zach Edey had 10. And then I think this is Josh Rivia had 11 points, and Sky Pippen Jr. had 16 points. Things are not looking good for you, Milwaukee. And if you're a Bucks fan, you're about to hear probably a little bit of a roast session from me in a little bit once I finish wrapping up these primetime games. So here we go with the next game. We got the Suns and the Clippers. I mean, I watched like pretty much I was watching this and the Jets game as well. So I apologize, but this game was nuts. Like I believe the Suns only missed one shot in like the third quarter. That's nuts. Um, but anyway, if you get the Sun side of things, I mean, Booker had 40 points, unbelievable. KD had 18. Ryan Dunn, the rookie, had 16 points. And then Nurk had a solid game. He had 11 points. Giant Stones only had 7 points, but he had 11 assists. And then Royce O'Neal led the all bench scoring in with 21 points, and that was about it. Peeking at the Clippers side of things, I mean, it was James Harden had 25 points to go along with 13 rebounds and 13 assists and 10 rebounds. Norman Powell had 23 points. Ivica Zubac was a man-child there. He had 22 points, and Derrick Jones Jr. had 11. And Kevin Porter Jr. had 14 points. God said my theory of Phoenix coming back for vengeance. I told you so. No. Oh man. But yeah, peeking at the next set of games, we got the Friday games. You know, you know, we got the Magic and the Cavs, the rematch of the first. I think this is a rematch, yeah, first round of the playoffs. And I gotta say, Cleveland looks pretty good. I have to admit that. Like, granted, no Paolo Banchero in this game, unfortunately, because Paolo's injured. But it is what it is. A win is a win, is what they always say. You know. But anyway, peeking at the Magic, we had um. There he goes. We had Jalen Suggs going off for 28 points. Franz Wagner at 17 points. Mo Wagner, his brother, had 14 points. Thiago de Silva, I think it is, coming off the bench with 17 points, but it wasn't enough as the Cavs just steamrolled everybody. Peeking at the Cavs, speaking of which, Darius Garland led the way with 25 points. Donovan Mitchell had 22 points. Evan Mobley looks absolutely sensational right now. He's playing really well. He had 14 points and 12 rebounds, and Karis LeVert led all bench scores on the Cavs with 13 points. Oh, oh. Sorry if I look so tired, you guys. I'm a little bit tired right now. But anyway, peeking at the next game, we got the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. A rematch. I think this is a rematch of last year's Western Conference semifinals run, and boy, was this game to me was like probably nuts, more nuts than the Pacers and the Celtics game one between each other, which is something to say. But yeah, this game was unbelievable. Peeking at the Nuggets side of things, I mean, Jokic had 26 points. Michael Porter Jr. had 26 points, but it was Aaron Gordon that led with 31 points. Jamal Murray had 6 points, which I don't understand how, despite him having a +6, like that doesn't make +8, which doesn't make sense. Christian Brown had 14 points, and their bench, I mean, their bench was just not it. Peaking of the Timberwolves side of things, I mean, Anthony Edwards once again is playing absolutely amazing. He had 29 points. Rudy Gobert had 17 points along with 14 rebounds. Uh, Julius Randle had 23 points. Jaden McDaniels had 10 points. And Mike Conley had 9 points. And their bench, man, Naz Reid had 16 points. You know, just nuts, to say the very least. All right. And finally, we got the last game. Oh, wait, this is. And finally, we have the last primetime game. Like I said, I apologize for the lagginess. You know, my laptop is lagging, stuff like that. It's just a lot of things are going on right now. But anyway, we only had one primetime game this week, and that was in Mexico between the Heat and the Wizards. Honestly, this game kind of surprised. This game was not surprising considering that I picked Miami to win this game. You guys remember my primetime picks. But anyway, peeking at the what is it? The Heat, the box score. Not why did I pick the I didn't pick the Celtics. Look, guys, there we go. We got the Heat and the Cavs. I mean, Bam Adebayo at 32 points. He also shot the 3-point range really well. 3 of 5 from the field. He also had 14 points. Jimmy Butler also had 18 points as well. Tyler Hero had 15 points, and Terry Rozier had 12 points. And it looks like, oh yeah, Alec Brooks had 15 points, which is kind of nice. Peeking at the Wizards side of things, Alex Sarr bounced back with 17 points. He looks solid to me as a rookie right now. Billia Coulibaly had all Wizards scoring 22 points. Jordan Poole had 21 points. And then, like I said, Alex Sarr had 17 points, and their bench just was not existent. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all my primetime games. What are you guys' thoughts? I know it was a little bit slow. I know I promised to be quick. You know, I apologize. Just like the NBA season just here, so I apologize for that. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic of the Courtside podcast. I know like the games took a while. It's just my laptop is like really old right now, so I apologize for that. But anyway, peeking at our next topic, we're going to be briefly addressing Stephen A. Smith's comments on Kevin Durant's not being a leader and and Katie's response to that, and then later giving my response to it. So, if you guys saw on First Take, there was a video on First Take where they were talking about Kevin Durant about Stephen A. Smith saying, well, first let me find it first. I have to find it. Yeah, here we go. So there was a video online saying, where is it? No, not this one. Where Stephen A. Smith says, quote, I don't question the greatness nor the commitment of Kevin Durant when you're that great. You should be able to be a better leader than he has shown. And he said this on First Take last Friday. And then Kevin Durant said, I think Kevin Durant says, um, he's a clown to me. He's always been a clown. I've been in the league eight. He's always been a clown. I've been in the league 18 years. I've never seen Stephen A. Smith out of practice or a film session or a shootout. I've never seen him anywhere on TV talking shit about players and holding them to standards that he doesn't even hold himself to. And then Stephen A. The First Take committee posted on Twitter about about Stephen A's response, like they do on a sports show. And then Kevin Durant replied, I would disagree, Stephen. I would argue passionately that my intangibles have always been on par with my talents. So I'm going to give you guys my response to it. And I'm going to say this. I love both of them. I love Stephen A. Smith and I love KD. All right, Stephen A. Smith, I love you to death. You're one of my favorite reporters in the media industry. You always make me laugh no matter what here, but you're in the wrong in this. All right. Kevin Durant doesn't want to be the leader. Okay. Like he stated towards the media that I am not a leader. I'm just a guy that wants to be able to do things um, with the main leader. Like, for example, when he was in Golden State, I think they asked Kevin, like, are you a leader and stuff like that? And then Kevin said, look, I'm not a leader. This is Steph. Steph is the leader. I'm the type of guy that is willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win no matter what. And I also learned there was actually a clip online. I'm not sure where it's from on YouTube where DeMarcus Cousins, his former teammate, was talking about the leadership role, about KD not being a leader and stuff like that. Leaders, in my opinion, lead by different action. You got LeBron, who leads by his words, all right? Who's very vocal. KD is a leader by his work ethic. And Andre Iguodala said this perfectly. If you want to watch someone work hard in a gym, look at Kevin Durant. Look how Kevin works and stuff like that. So in a concise format, Stephen A. Smith, I love you to death, my man. Well, you're in the wrong of this. All right. Just because he's not vocal about being a leader doesn't automatically mean he's not a leader. A leader is a person who can lead in different ways. Like I said with LeBron. LeBron has his like voice as part of being the leader. KD leads by his work ethic. He doesn't want to, it is what it is. I know it's kind of like rambunctious and like kind of little, but I have a lot of things to catch up on too. So yeah, I apologize. Peeking at the next topic, and which is we're going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and their 1-5 record right now. They play tonight against Cleveland, so hopefully they bounce back, but we'll see. But to all the people who called me an idiot, who's the idiot now? There's actually, believe it or not, a video on, I believe it's on the First Things First, which is another sports show that I like, where the First Things First crew, Chris Broussard, Nick Wright, and Kevin Wildes were asked, who's been the most disappointing in the league? And there's a comment on that YouTube short. I'm gonna probably have it in the link in the description down below, where they were asked who's been the most disappointing team, and I was the one that commented Milwaukee Bucks, and yet it seemed like everybody was coming at my throat saying, you're glazing the Suns, you're glazing KD, Booker, and Beal and stuff like that. Yeah, I would agree Phoenix was the more disappointing team, but also in that same instance, Milwaukee was more disappointing than Phoenix. All right, and I don't care if you agree or disagree with me. Let me explain why. First of all, you fired your first-year head coach, Darvin Ham. Who did you replace with him? Doc Rivers. And I love Doc. Doc is a great, seems like a great guy to talk to based on his interviews and all that stuff. But he is not. He's a great coach, but he's like the Kyle Shanahan of the NBA. He's gonna do stuff that drives you nuts, or like, and then when he responds to things, he just says the same shit every single time. All right, but anyway, moving on. I try to tell you guys, I was in the minority when they announced that Dame was going to be paired up with Giannis in Milwaukee. This was not going to work. All right. Because, and everyone knows this, I love Dame. I love him. But he's not a shutdown defender. If you want to be a title contender, you need a guy, you need these kind of guys. And I said this to my mom when previewing the NBA Finals. You need two guys, one or two guys that can give you 25 a night. All right. You need a rim protector. You need shooters. All right. You need depth. And most importantly, and this is probably my most important thing in order to be like a title contender, you need a shutdown defender on your team that can be like, okay, I will take away the team's best player and let you go crazy. Like, for example, with the Nuggets. All right. Granted, the Nuggets, like they're a good team. They have Jokic. All right. They have Jamal Murray. That they have two guys that can give you 25 a night. They had Bruce Brown and Kentavious Caldwell. Guys that can give you 15 a night, but they can also shut down your best player. All right. The Bucks, they don't have that. All right. And that's why I thought it was so stupid of them to trade Drew Holiday, their best shutdown defender, who ended up being on the Boston Celtics and then them winning the championship. Like, yeah. All right, like if they I said they should have traded Chris Middleton instead of Drew. Because and hear me out on this, Bucks fans. I understand Chris is a fan favorite. He is Giannis's favorite teammate and henceforth. But imagine this line. Dame, Drew at the backboard. You can maybe slide Giannis to the three. You got Bobby at the three. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have Giannis slide at the three. You got Bobby Portis at the four. Brooke Lopez at the five. Everyone's healthy. Who's beating that starting five? Dame, Drew, Giannis, Bobby, Brooke. Who's beating that starting five? As far as I know, I don't see anyone beating that team. Boston, are you kidding me? If they didn't get Drew Holiday, hell no. They're not beating Milwaukee. In fact, I'm willing to say right now, if they played each other, if they kept Drew, the Bucks kept Drew, and the Celtics had like, Derek White, Kristaps, and stuff like that, those games would not have been close. Like I think Milwaukee would have swept the season series, and if they matched up in the playoffs, Milwaukee will absolutely 1,000% annihilate them in the playoffs. All right, but yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. But I'm gonna have the link of the YouTube short in the description of my comment. But all I gotta say is I told you so. Speaking of teams, we're going to dive into our next topic, which is talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers and their 7-0 and discuss how much of a threat they are in the Eastern Conference. As you can see, I have this on my agenda, so that's why. But anyway, if we could exclude the Boston Celtics, because we all know, everyone knows the Boston Celtics are the best team in the Eastern Conference, hands down. All right, when healthy, and right now they're the best. They're the class of the East. But if we can exclude them, let's say Boston, their team doesn't exist right now. Who I think is the best team in the East? I think you could say Cleveland is the best team. All right, New York is still gelling right now. They're still finding their ways. All right, New York, Philly's a mess. Milwaukee is a mess as well. Orlando and Indiana, I mean, they're good, but they're still young and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm willing to say right now the Cavs are the best team in the Eastern Conference. If we can exclude, of course, the Boston Celtics. I mean, big shout out to Kenny Atkinson. I think he's a really good head coach. Who works well with young players. And I think yeah, that's I think he's the real deal. But I'm concerned if they match up with a Boston. That if they match up with Boston, I don't like their chances. But for every single team, and maybe we could exclude the Knicks once they get things going. This team might be the third best team in the Eastern Conference. When it's all when by the middle of April, I think I can say this team is the third best team. Don't you? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, moving on to our next segment, we're going to move on to our courtside hierarchy for week 3 of the season. So let's get to it. All right, so let's go into um, week 3 of the NBA season, heading into week 3. So we're going to start with our next set of tier. We're going to set with our new top 10. All right, so here we are at number 10. I'm gonna still go with Golden State just because the resiliency of this group, man, is just it's just crazy, man. Like they're playing really well without Steph, which is crazy. You know, number nine, number nine. I'm gonna go. Excuse me. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Actually, no, 10. I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets. I know that sounds crazy to you guys, but let's be honest here. Like this team, they're kind of screwed. So I gotta say them. But like, they're playing okay right now. Jokic is playing really well. But right now, the only reason why they're a top 10 team is because they still have Jokic. That's all I gotta say. Number nine, I'm gonna go the Indiana Pacers just because like Indiana, man, they've just been like really up in the air lately. Like I don't know what's up with them. Like they play good one night and they don't play good the next night. It just doesn't make sense. Number eight, I'm gonna go Orlando in this one. I just think Orlando's playing really well right now, especially without Powell. I know they lost last time, but like they have other pieces, to gel. Number seven, I'm gonna take Dallas at the seventh spot. Just because it looks they're playing well, but they're like losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to. All right. But anyway, number six, I'm gonna go Golden State. I know it sounds crazy, but like this team right now is playing their best basketball, and they don't have Steph, which is nuts to say the very least. But anyway, moving on. Number five, and oh man, who do I put at the top five? Five, five. I'll go the Knicks. I'll go the Knicks. What are the Knicks though? Yeah, five. I'll go the Knicks just because the Knicks like they're still finding pieces, but like they're getting the hang of it. They're finding ways to like work with each other and stuff like that. So I would say the Knicks are at number five. Number four, I'm gonna go at number four. I'm gonna go Phoenix. I'm gonna go Phoenix. They've been playing really well lately. Like they only have one. They could have been 5-0 had they not choked that lead against the Lakers in the first meeting against this team. But this team is playing really well. Their defense is a lot better. Granted, it's like the first 2 weeks of the season, so I have to say that with that. But they're playing really well right now, and their big three man, they're playing solid basketball. All right, number three. I'm gonna go, and I know this sounds like crazy talk, even though they're like one, they're undefeated. I'm gonna go Cleveland. I really love how Cleveland's been playing as of late. Donovan Mitchell is playing well. Darius Garland's playing well. Like all these things, they're playing really well. Number two, I'm gonna go the Celtics just because like the Celtics, man, like they've been good, but they lost to Indiana, so that's kind of notched down. But like, this team is still the best team in the world. But it is what it is. And number one, to my pain, I'm gonna go the OKC Thunder. They don't even have their starting center in Isaiah Hartenstein, which is nuts. But this team is playing really well. Shea looks great. Chet looks great. Jalen Williams looks great. Alex Russo seems like a great pickup. This team, I think, is gonna get better and better, and that's who I have in my number one seed. All right, and finally. I know it seems like forever. I apologize, man. I'm sorry. It's just my internet, man, has just not been my friend today. We have the Bucks and the Cavs game two between these two. Um, I am gonna take I am gonna take the Bucks. I am gonna take the Cavs just because the Cavs know who they are. You know, the Bucks are just they're in a mess right now. So I'm gonna take the Cavs to win this game. Sixers Suns. I will take the Suns, even though Paul George is making his debut. Like, if Joel Embiid was playing, I would have given the edge to the Sixers, but right now I got to give it to the Suns. Warriors and Celtics. I am going to take the Celtics to win this game. I just think the Celtics are a better team right now. If Steph plays, I will change my mind, but right now I got to take the Celtics. And then we got the Sixers and the Clippers. Man. I will take the Sixers, to win this game because they're desperate. They are desperate to win, and I think they get it done. Next up, we got the Timberwolves and the Bulls. I'm going to take the Timberwolves, better team. I do expect the Bulls to keep it close, but I'm going to take the Timberwolves. Next game, we got the Suns and the Mavs. Game two, I am going to still take Phoenix. I think they're the better team right now. They have been playing rock solid lately. I do expect the Mavs to keep it close, but I'm going to take the Suns. Sixers and the Lakers. I'll take the Sixers. I'll take the Sixers to win this game just because I think the Sixers are a better team, even though they've been weird this year. Next up, we got the Jazz and the Spurs. I'm gonna take the Spurs to win this game. I think Wemby's gonna have a bounce back game, and stuff like that. Moving on, we got the Nets and the Cavs. I will take the Cavs to win this game. I think the Cavs are a much better team than the Nets. I expect the Nets to keep it close, but not as quite. And then finally, we got the Raptors and the Clippers. We got the Clippers winning that game. But yeah, that's all for my week 3 NBA primetime picks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. If you did, please get a like, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. I don't know what my recording schedule is going to look like next week, so I'll let you guys know. But I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe, stay warm. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.